Whatever we were doing before, we have to change that and do something else. Had our goals, we had our plans, we had our routine, we had the way we were going that way, and pivot and go that way, because I got nowhere to go. I got nowhere to escape to. It's the time to have faith. It's the time to trust. It's the time to surrender. I see that the biggest opportunities was hiding in those deepest, darkest moments, in this that you wouldn't have been able to find had this not happened. Okay, so we made it to the last stage, and this stage is where we are actually starting to accept what is going on and the changes that have come about. Now, my clients ask me, does that mean that if I accept this, it means I'm okay with it? No, it does not mean that you're okay with it. It does not mean that you like it. It does not mean that this is the way you want to live. But it does mean that you are surrendering to what is. It means that you are allowing what is going on to be your new reality for now. It means that you are accepting what is happening and you are starting to adjust to what is happening. And it also means that in your heart, you're starting to feel a little more peace. So it's the acceptance, not the forceful acceptance of you just got to live with this, but more of the acceptance of, let me see how I can make lemonade out of lemons. And let me see how I'm going to use this opportunity or this difficult challenge as an opportunity. It's where you move from being kind of resistant to the change that's going on, because for all of us, this has been a huge change. Whatever we were doing before, we have to change that and do something else. So that we our human nature is to resist when there is such a huge change that's required of us. So in the acceptance stage, you stop resisting the change so much and you're starting to kind of flow with this new change. Another big thing that you do here in this stage is that you learn how to pivot. And pivot is one of my favorite words right now, because it is what we are being asked to do, meaning that we had a certain idea of what we were doing in the next month or 2 or 3, and we had our goals, we had our plans, we had our routine, we had our jobs, we had our whatever we had, and none of that is working now. We all have to pivot. We have to stop the way we were going that way and pivot and go that way. So, and that pivoting takes many different forms. It could be pivoting in 100 different things in your life. It could be pivoting in 200 different ways. So it's even in your relationship, like I was mentioning earlier. Right now, the how much tension and distress there is in between couples is really off the charts. And so there's pivoting that needs to happen there too, meaning my ways of communicating with you and relating to you, I have to pivot that too, because it's not gonna be okay in our family if I continue my old ways and now we're stuck with each other at home, right? And each one of us has their old ways of handling things. Well, that's not going to work this time, because I got nowhere to go. I got nowhere to escape to release some of that tension. So it's really, really forcing us to this whole situation is really forcing us to turn within and pivot with external plans, pivot with internal behaviors and thought processes. I will have more videos on some of those discussions for couples, for marriages and things like that. But for the purposes of this video, again, it is in the acceptance, you are starting to be better at pivoting. So you pivot, you adjust, you adapt to the new situation. And you also see that there is a possibility that this could be something good, that something could come out of this that could be beneficial. And I know a lot of the times it seems like the most impossible thing that this horrific situation right now could have benefits, and we might not see these benefits for a while on a collective level or on an individual level. You might not see any benefit out of this. You might only see negatives out of this for a while. But I do invite you to, when you are in that stage of acceptance, I do invite you to consider and to open up to the possibility that there could be another way of looking at this, that there could be something beneficial that could come out of this. And we do not know. We do not have the whole picture of our of what is the best for us. So we have to really trust. It's the time to have faith. It's the time to trust. It's the time to surrender. And it is that in the acceptance stage, we surrender and we trust and we have faith and we are willing to see that perhaps there is a hidden opportunity in this. And I know that in the hardest of times in my personal life, in the hardest, deepest, darkest times of my life, that I saw no way out, that I saw completely impossible to overcome, that I thought I wasn't going to make it through. Looking back at those moments, at those stages, at those years, at those months, at those days, I see that the biggest opportunities was hiding in those deepest, darkest moments. And it's not just in my personal experience, it is with a lot of my clients as well, and the people that I associate with, that I see that it was in those hardest times that something was hiding, a big opportunity, a big hidden gem, something was hiding in there, that they were able to discover it. It wasn't easy to discover it. It wasn't the most obvious thing to discover. It was hidden. But as they started to grow, as they started to look at those deeper feelings, at those stages I'm talking about, and started to surrender, then that gem started to reveal itself. So I do want you to just have that on the back of your mind, even if you feel right now in the midst of this, and you're angry and you're upset and you're feeling depressed and you're feeling all kinds of emotions. Even if that's where you're at, again, do not force yourself to surrender or to feel the acceptance, but just know that there's a possibility that what's coming next for you is that deeper sense of peace, of acceptance, of really finding a hidden opportunity in this that you wouldn't have been able to find had this not happened. So these were the 5 stages of grief applied to the coronavirus crisis in the way that I've been seeing it with my clients, with myself, and my colleagues. And I hope it made sense to you. I hope it's something that you felt was a little helpful. Even if you get one thing out of it, that is plenty. And we will continue this conversation. I will be providing you many different tools and ways to help you through this. Leaving you in whole wellness. Bye-bye.